Most men fear rejection as if it were the death of attraction. But rejection is not the end. It is the spark. What many dread is often the very force that makes women desire more. This is the paradox. Many men think saying no ends their chances. They fear walking away destroys attraction. The truth is the opposite. Rejection often ignites fascination. When a man refuses to bend, a woman wonders why didn't he react like others? That question is the seed of desire. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free. The man who dares to deny shows freedom, and that freedom is irresistible." People value what is rare, not what is always given. A man who always says yes becomes predictable, safe, boring. He may earn gratitude but not passion. The one who says no, who stands firm, creates mystery. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. The man who controls himself earns respect." Picture this. A woman flirts, expecting validation. One man chases harder, flooding her with attention. She quickly loses interest. Another man smiles calmly but does not bow. He shows her beauty does not control him. Which man stays in her mind? The one who walked away with dignity. Rejection, done with calm strength, is the ultimate test. It proves value, discipline, self-respect. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself," by rejecting when necessary. You do not lose her, you gain her respect, and often. Rejection is not only powerful, it is a test. A woman often smiles, flirts, or pulls a man in just to see how he reacts. If he becomes desperate, chasing harder at the first sign of distance, she knows she owns him. But if he pulls back calmly, if he is not impressed by beauty alone, something changes inside her. She thinks he's not like the others. That difference is intoxicating. Curiosity mixes with desire. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A man who rejects when boundaries are crossed lives by this wisdom. He acts with integrity, not weakness. Most men believe more attention equals more attraction. But in truth, overgiving kills desire. A man who can say no shows standards. Standards create respect, and respect fuels passion. Seneca once reminded us, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." The man who gives himself to everyone loses value. The one who withholds becomes rare. Think of a real moment. A woman tests a man with playful provocation. One man rushes to please, hoping to keep her close. He fades from her memory. Another man remains composed, smiles, but stands firm. That calm refusal lingers in her thoughts. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself. His restraint makes him unforgettable." This is why rejection is the ultimate filter. It separates the desperate from the disciplined. Women may never admit it openly, but deep down, they crave the man strong enough to deny them. Rejection is not cruelty, it's clarity. When a man shows he does not need constant approval, he reveals strength. Women feel this difference deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." A man who governs himself, instead of chasing validation, becomes magnetic. When a man gives everything freely, there is no challenge, no tension. Comfort replaces passion. But when he holds back, when he rejects her attempts to dominate, he creates uncertainty. And uncertainty breeds desire. As Seneca reminded us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. The man who is content within himself does not crave her approval, and that contentment makes him rare. Picture this. A woman expects praise. One man gives endless compliments, she forgets him. Another listens, but remains selective, only giving recognition when truly earned. She begins to wonder, what will it take to win his approval? That question lingers, creating fascination. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself," by refusing to collapse into neediness. A man leaves space in her mind. That space becomes a question mark, and questions echo longer than answers. Rejection, delivered with calm strength, is not the end of attraction, it is the spark that keeps it alive. Rejection turns a man into a puzzle, a mystery that women cannot ignore. Psychology teaches us that the mind is addicted to solving what feels unfinished. A woman may brush off attention from 100 men, yet she obsesses over the one who calmly denied her. Epictetus said, "It is difficulties that show what men are. A man who resists instead of yielding proves his strength." Modern women live in a flood of validation likes, messages, and constant approval. Attention has lost its value, but rejection is rare. It is the black rose in a field of red. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "The rarest things are the most valuable." The man who can say no stands out against a crowd of eager admirers. Imagine this. On social media, she receives endless praise. Most names blur together. But one man remains silent, offering nothing. That silence burns louder than all the noise. She replays it in her mind. Why didn't he respond? What makes him different? That question is what keeps her invested. Seneca once wrote, "It is part of the cure to wish to be cured." The discomfort of rejection plants a seed of desire, forcing her to chase what she cannot easily claim. This is why rejection, delivered with calm strength, becomes unforgettable. It marks the man as rare, and rarity always commands attention. Rejection does more than sting, it flips the script. When a man calmly says no, he denies not only her body, but also the power she believes she holds. That denial awakens a deeper chase. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The man who rejects shows mastery. And mastery inspires desire. Most men are slaves to the fear of rejection. They beg for approval, thinking that constant pursuit will win love. But fear enslaves them. Seneca wrote, "He suffers more than necessary." Who suffers before it is necessary? Men suffer by fearing loss before it happens. In truth, rejection is freedom. It proves a man has standards, not desperation. Picture this. A woman tests two men. The first floods her with attention, terrified to lose her. He becomes invisible to her desire. The second stands calm, even distant. His discipline makes him unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind." The man who chooses restraint proves he values himself above her fleeting approval. This is why rejection becomes a filter. It separates the desperate from the disciplined. Women may deny it with words, but their actions reveal the truth. They chase the man who dares to deny them. Women often say they want consistency and stability, yet their hearts are drawn to challenge. The men they remember are not those who always said yes, but those who dared to say no. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." A man who rejects when needed proves he leads instead of follows. Rejection is leadership. The man who never refuses gives away control, letting the woman set the terms. But the man who calmly denies shows he values his own path more than her fleeting approval. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Leadership begins with mastery over one's desires. Picture this. A woman pushes boundaries. One man caves instantly, thinking he keeps her close. Instead, she loses respect. Another man stands calm and firm. He leads not by force, but by principle. Seneca once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. A man without direction is lost." But the one who rejects when the line is crossed shows he knows his course. This is why rejection creates both respect and attraction. Without respect, desire dies. With it, admiration grows, and admiration is the soil where love takes root. Rejection is a declaration, "I am not desperate. I have standards. I am not afraid to lose you." This truth separates men who are used from men who are desired. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The man who rejects lives by principle, not by fear. Rejection filters. The woman offended by a man's standards was never drawn to him, but the one who leans in after rejection is the one truly attracted. Epictetus taught, First say to yourself what you would be. Then do what you have to do. A man who knows his worth rejects what does not align with his values. Picture this. Two men face the same moment. One accepts everything, desperate for love. He fades into the background. The other calmly denies, showing he has options. Seneca wrote, "The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. The man who is not enslaved by lust appears rare, and rarity becomes irresistible." This is why rejection is not loss. It is selection. In a world of men eager to please, the one who resists becomes the prize. His rejection transforms him from another admirer into the challenge she cannot resist. Rejection does not end attraction, it creates tension, and tension fuels desire. When a man calmly says no, he shifts from applicant to prize. Women feel this instantly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A man who values himself more than her approval radiates strength. When men give instant validation, desire withers. But when a man holds back, he creates space in her mind. That space becomes a question mark, and questions echo louder than answers. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By rejecting neediness, a man proves his mastery, leaving her wondering what it takes to earn his respect. Imagine this. A woman expects praise. One man pours it out, endlessly forgotten in days. Another is calm, giving recognition only when it is true. She replays his silence, his restraint. Seneca wrote, "Self-command is the greatest command of all. This control makes him memorable." This is why rejection often sparks pursuit. It plants admiration first, and admiration fuels attraction. Without respect, passion dies. With respect, it grows into something unforgettable. Rejection must be authentic. It cannot be a trick or a game. A man who rejects because he has true standards radiates power. His actions align with who he is. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The man who rejects from principle shows integrity, not manipulation. Women do not fall for men who give them everything. They fall for those who set boundaries, who walk away when respect is lost. Epictetus reminded us, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." A man who knows his worth denies what does not serve it. That denial becomes his strength. Picture this. A man gives endlessly, thinking it will win love. Instead, he becomes invisible. Another stands firm, calm, complete in himself. Seneca once said, "The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. The man who needs nothing from her becomes the one she cannot forget." This is the paradox. Rejection feels like loss in the moment, yet it creates desire in the long run. It proves discipline, self-respect, and rarity. And rarity is irresistible. Women may never say it out loud, but deep down, they crave the man strong enough to deny them.